can start. Yeah, recording.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Thank you, Bindu. So, let's get started. Bindu, shall we start? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
All right. Okay. So welcome everybody, and thank you for this opportunity, Bindu. And would like to share what I have known, and I would like to share my experience with Avaz and Avaz users.
Anjana, we're not able to hear.
Your audio.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I request everybody to stay muted. Please mute yourselves. Okay, please let me know if you're able to see the screen and hear me as well.
Yes, Anjana, we can see you and hear you.
Yes.
Okay, let's. Okay, so today I'll be sharing with you all about Avaz app, its features, and how to personalize it, and how to get started about it. So there are three parts to this presentation today. So we'll begin by understanding what Avaz app is all about, what features it has, and how do you personalize it to your own child, and then also give you a very rough idea, an overview of the roadmap, like how you can get started with it.
Anjana, can you please mute everyone? And maybe we can unmute once we are at the end of the session for Q&A.
All right. Not sure how to do that.
Because I think you are the host, you can all accept yourself.
Okay. Bindu, I'm not sure how to do that, but maybe I can make you the host. So
you can click on the participants, and then I believe for the host, there is an option for mute all.
No, there isn't. Yeah, I've made Bindu the co-host. Okay, so when it comes to AAC apps, now that you have a background about AAC and why one should be using AAC, what are the benefits and all that. If you have any questions regarding that, please do raise questions. But I'm assuming that part has been already covered in the previous by the previous presenters. So I'll straight away dive into the AAC app world. So within the AAC apps, we have broadly two categories. One is picture symbol based apps, and the other is text based apps. There are other types as well, but these are the two major ones. And the picture or symbol based apps are the ones which has those pictures, symbols along with the words. And text based apps are purely something like Proloco to go, Proloco for text, where there is only text, no pictures or symbols. Okay. So when it comes to choosing an app, how do we choose? How do we know which app is good, which app is the best, what features to look out for? So we do this kind of a analysis. And then we need to know what to look out for, right, to be able to make a choice. So when it comes to AAC apps, there is a terminology that we often hear, that is robust. It must be robust. The app must be robust. So what does this term mean? Robust communication app is something that has features, that comes with several features. So what are these key features that you need to look out for? So some key features are the app should come with some ready-made vocabulary. So when you purchase the app, it comes with ready-made vocabulary. So when there were apps that were rolled out in the market initially, everything had to be done from scratch. Like you had to add every word, but now it comes with a pre-set vocabulary. And also it comes with some pre-stored messages, some easy, ready to use phrases and messages. And it should also give you options for the child to be able to use several grammatical features. So it should come with grammatical features as well, like plurals, adjectives, singular, plural, comparative, superlative. So all these grammatical features must also be there in the app, right? So all these features together, when that's what is called as robust communication app. So let me just take you through. I'll just screen share Avaz app and show you. You're able to see this? Okay. So when we say picture-based app or symbol-based app, this is how it looks. As you can see, there are symbols on top of the words, right? So these are called symbol sticks symbols. And these pictures or symbols may vary from app to app. There are different types. So this is a symbol-based app. And similarly, there are other apps such as Proloco to go, Touch Chat, Cough Drop, and so many more. So in India, we have Avaz and Jello. And Avaz is the most widely used in India. So let's look at some of the features now. So Avaz comes with, lifetime. You can purchase a lifetime edition, or you can go for a monthly subscription. There are some technical requirements. So if you are on the iOS, you're downloading it on the iOS device, you need a 11 version or later. And I'll be sharing this handout with you, so you can keep it as a reference if and when you would like to purchase or subscribe to it. So this link will give you information about what kind of devices it will work on and what platforms it will work on. So basically, this is a device-based app. You have to either have an Android device or an iOS device, and you need to go to the Play Store or the App Store and download the app. Okay. So you need a device that you can download it on. You can download it on the phone as well, but for the sake of a bigger screen, for the sake of learning, we usually recommend a tab, at least a tab or an iPad, something of that size. So this app also gives you a free trial for 14 days. There is a 15-day free trial. And then you need to either go for a monthly subscription or purchase a lifetime edition. So these are the links for Android and iOS. The latest, there has been a major update. The version 6.6 is the latest version, and that's the latest update that they have done. So initially, earlier, Avaz came with, there was Avaz India, there was Avaz International app, and Avaz in many other languages. So now they have a consolidated app. They have consolidated all the apps into one, which is Avaz AAC app, which you will find in the App Store or the Play Store. So they have some new features, and there are some changes that are being made. So like I said, these are the kind of symbols or pictures that you will see in apps. So there are many kinds of symbols. So the one that you see on Avaz is something like this, a stick figure with different expressions and actions. So this is the symbol sticks. There are other symbol types called PCS, widget symbols, and so on. So different apps use different kinds of pictures and symbols. So when we say symbols or pictures, it's these cartoon kind of pictures or stick pictures. Now when we look at the features, I think I'll also just try to screen share and show some of the basic things. So what you see is on the iPad, Avaz downloaded on the iPad, and this is the India version. I mean, when you go to menu and settings, you have the option of choosing the language, Avaz language, change language. So here you have English, US version, UK version, India version. The India version comes with 6 other regional languages also, Australia and some other languages. So if you choose, say, US, it looks a little different. So this is called the home screen. Okay, so when you choose the language, you come to the home screen, and this is how the home screen looks with the US version. The vocabulary and everything is the same. There are some slight variations in terms of pictures. Avaz India version has more relevant, culturally relevant words and vocabulary, such as idli, dosa, and things like that. Whereas the US version, you might find more of pretzels and other things that are more culturally relevant to them. So let me go to, let me change back to English India. So this is what you get. This quick folder, getting started, basic and advanced. So like I said, when you purchase an app, any AAC app for that matter, you will get some pre-set vocabulary, which you can customize based on your child language level and child's needs. Okay, so just to make it more user-friendly, Avaz has divided the vocabulary into 3 parts: getting started, basic, and advanced. Okay, so what you see here are folders. Like the way you have folders on your computer, these are folders, and each folder opens up. So I go to getting started. Each folder opens up further into many more symbols and words. So and you can also see a certain color coding here, right? So all the green, light green colored ones with a slight green stripe on the top are folders. And within each folder, again, you have different words. So all the social words, like social phrases, like greetings and all that, are in pink. You'll find that in pink. So all the green words are, as you can guess, are action words, so verbs. And the adjectives are color coded in blue, light blue. Determiners are in yellow. People words, pronouns are in yellow. Nouns are in orange, and so on. So this color coding actually kind of helps you understand in terms of planning. Like there are different parts of speech in English, right? Nouns, verbs, adjectives, pronouns, and so on. So each part of speech is color coded, is in a different color. So you can, that will help you. There are some approaches which teach language based on this color coding, such as colorful semantics, where you ask the child to pick the orange word, yellow word, blue word, and so on. So these are, again, it can be personalized. You can make everything turn into just one color, single color. So these things can be personalized later on. So getting started has very basic vocabulary to get started with. So it has some, greeting words, a few action words, 2 adjectives, 1 determiner, things, people. Action, adjectives, and so on. Okay. So the basic version has a little more than that. And then the advanced version is the full vocabulary. It has most all components of all parts of language. So this has categories where you have, transport, things like transport, weather, animals and birds, plants and trees, and these kinds of things. And you have question. Let me screen share. Yeah. So this is the advanced folder. So you have, eat folder. Eat folder has words related to that, to eating. So you'll find some core words here: eat, drink, cook, fill, pour, more. And then you have all other things related to that, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So these are the things that you can customize. So if you are, say, if you want to add puttu as a breakfast item that's made in your house, for example, you can add that. Okay. So I'll be showing you how to add and edit and all those things. But this is just a run through of the features. And then it has lunch and dinner. It has snacks, places to eat. So everything related to that. Similarly, we have people folder. Again, people folder is divided into many further folders, like family, school people, helpers, pronouns, so descriptive words. There is question folder that has question words, WH, question. Feeling folder, which has feeling words. So as you can see, there are the language that we actually speak is visually represented in a certain way on an AAC app. So this makes, and the attempt of every app maker is such that it should be accessible to all children with all kinds of abilities. So So that's the point of this kind of a representation. So it's visually represented and made as accessible as possible to the child so that the child can use this to communicate.
Ma'am, I have a dark question. Can I ask now?
Yeah, sure.
Ma'am, can we delete some pictures if we want?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
So what you can do is you can, instead of deleting, let me show you. I'll now go to the editing part of it. So you go to menu. Menu edit words.
Okay.
So when you press edit words, you see these circles coming up, right? So you can either select all, or you can choose which ones you want to hide. So there is an option of hiding. Instead of deleting, you can hide those icons. Now, I do not want the screen to be having so many pictures because my child is going to be visually overwhelmed. If you think so, you can actually retain only some, say, let's retain some basic words, and let's say I don't want these things for now. So what I'm going to do is select the ones that I'm, can you see the tick mark here? So these are
Yes,
the
ma'am.
symbols that I have selected. Now on the top, you can see copy, hide, and delete, right? If you delete,
Yes.
it's permanently gone from the device, from the app. So instead, what you can do is you can choose the option of hiding. So this is going to mask, just hide. And when you come out, when you're done, just press done. And when you come out of it, it looks like this. The screen looks much more simpler and not visually overwhelming.
Can we again retain them by showing?
Yeah, you can. So go to menu, edit words, edit words. See, you can see the ones that you have masked, right?
Okay.
Again, you select. So now I want to bring back the word you. I have already introduced the word
Yeah.
I.
Show option is there.
Yeah, show option. So show, and then it comes up. So done.
Yes.
Word comes up.
Thank you, ma'am.
You can get started with just as little as like 3 words or 4 words, 5 words, and so on. And you can mask the remaining. Instead of deleting, you can mask. Delete only if you feel like this word is totally out of my child's vocabulary or something like that. But one mistake that we tend to do is, most parents, because of course most parents have kind of self-taught and self-learned. What we tend to do is we want to make it very simple for the child. We don't want it to be very visually overwhelming for the child. So what we do is we set the screen size to just there is an option where you can choose pictures per screen. Okay, so this is set for 24 pictures per screen. So what I'm showing you now. But what many parents do is they start with something like 4 pictures. So when you start with something like 4 pictures, as you can see, it has only 4 pictures. Then you'll have to scroll you'll have to keep scrolling, or you'll have to navigate to other folders very frequently, which is very difficult to do. So if you change it to even say 8 pictures per screen, as you can see, it will mask a lot of words. Like it has only these many words, and the lesser number of words you have on the screen, although it may appear to be easier for you to model and for the child to select, you will be missing out on providing that language input for the child, right? How much can you talk with just I, you, like, want, to, and do, for example, whatever is on the screen now, home screen. So how much can you have conversations around just these words, right? So you can say I want this, I want that, I want this, I like this, I like, want. So what about adjectives? You want to say you want more, you finished, you like it, you don't like it, you want me to stop. So there are so many other words that we will need as we are providing language input for the child. So having access to a large number of vocabulary is always good. So what we need to do is set the grid size to the highest number possible. So pictures under settings, if you go to picture settings, pictures per screen, which is called the grid size, should be, the maximum is 77, 60, 40. 40 is something that I really recommend. But if you think 40 is also challenging, at least 24, not less than 24. Unless there is a very genuine reason for not going for that kind of a grid size. If there is a visual problem or something that's something like a very big genuine hurdle, only then you can go for smaller grid size. Otherwise, set the grid size to at least 24, and then you can actually mask whatever is not required. Okay. Okay, so any questions so far?
Hi, ma'am. This is Arpita here. Just want to know how to add a new picture. Where is the source we need to add the pictures from?
Yeah, I'll show that. So now let's go to the eat folder and say I want to add a breakfast item. So I'm in the eat folder and breakfast folder. So I've navigated from advanced to eat to breakfast. And here I want to add a new word. Let's say put to, for example. So I go to menu, edit word. When you go to edit word, you get on the top, you get these options. Add new word. And then again, another pop-up comes up, which will ask you, what do you want to add? Do you want to add a word, folder, or many words at once? So if you want to add, say, like 2 to 3 items at once, you can choose many words at once. Now enter words separated by a comma. So say I want to add put to, and I want to add, say, akki roti. Now save it. So this is how it will come up. So if there are no symbols, you will see that as a question mark. So it will come up as a question mark because the app doesn't have the pictures for it. So then what can you do? You have different options. One, select that, select put to, and then go to change. So I want to change the way it looks. So the word is here. Now find picture. So you can either find picture. So symbol is not there for put to. The app doesn't have the symbol for it. So you can either get a picture from the internet. So because I do not have a picture in my photo gallery, I will go to internet. So when you go to internet will pick up, it'll pick up pictures from the internet. So if you're not happy with this, you can change, actually. So you can choose pictures from the internet. So if you're happy with this, you can then save. Okay, you have the save option. But if you do have a picture of your own, the thing that you have made at home, you can get it from the photo gallery as well. So if you choose this, it takes you to the photo gallery, then you can choose a picture from there. So then save it.
Speak as also option is there, right?
Yes, speak as. So now let's see. Let's first how it sounds. So now press. So it's saying Pattu. So that's not how it is pronounced, right? So what I'll do is again go to menu, edit words, choose Puttu, change. So you can actually record it. Puttu. Puttu.
So if you double click on that speak as, that's when it records it, is it?
No,
When
you
you
just
want to
have
record?
No, wait, let me do it again properly. So you just have to press the red button.
Oh, the red button, yes.
Puttu.
Thank you. Another question. So for the AAC app, it is mostly in symbols, right?
Yeah.
Is it preferable, especially for things, etc., that we have photographs rather than symbols?
Yeah, you can. So this is a photograph that we picked up from the internet. So what is recommended is you have a combination of symbols and photographs. So food
Okay.
items, people in the house, and places that the child visits, some favorite items of the child, like the toys or activities, things like that. You can have real photos. If you do feel an SLP should be able to tell you if the child is able to, if your child is able to pick up on symbols, like line drawings and cartoon,
Right.
clip art kind of pictures, then you can actually retain some of the symbols as they are, because you will not find, there are some abstract words and you'll have to go with. But if you want, you can add photographs, like there is an option of adding GIFs also. That's the latest edition.
Oh, okay.
You can upload.
I don't think I've seen that. Okay.
Yeah.
Need to try that. Thank you.
Same way, like I showed you how to add a picture. The same way, if you want to add your teaching action words to your child, then you can actually add GIFs to this instead of these symbols, pictures. Those those very short GIFs where somebody is taking, throwing, catching, which will be much more understandable for the child, much more comprehensive for the child, right? And these days, I've stopped using flashcards unless it's it's something that I need it for, either I need it for some typing or something like that. If I'm teaching an action word, I always use GIFs, which is for live. And so there is an option of adding GIFs. So you have to download it to the device that you're using, to the device which has Avaz, and you can upload it from there, from your photo gallery.
Hi, ma'am.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, ma'am. Just I wanted to know, like, I'm been using Avaz, ma'am, and in my Avaz, what happens is if I add some word, that the color behind, like for the things, for the like for actions, it's green. Different colors are there. No? For description, it's blue. Those colors, they won't come automatically. We have to add by our own.
Yeah. So why that happens is if you say I add a word here, which is, let me add a new word. So I want to add the word, let's say good.
Yeah.
Okay. So here, as you can see, good, the word good, you can see word type, right? Here, word
Yeah.
type. Here you can actually choose what category it belongs to. So it's a
Yes.
descriptive word, or it can also be a social phrase kind of a thing. So if you want it to be a descriptive word, you can change it here. Okay.
Okay.
So you need to mention the word type if it is not picking up by itself, and then save it.
Yeah. Oh, okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Sometimes it doesn't pick up. That's when you'll have to change it manually.
Yeah,
Anjana,
ma'am.
I have a question. I'm Gauri Shivakumar.
Yeah, hi. Yeah.
Hi. So we have been implementing ours in our organization for the past 2 years. And I have so many questions related to the implementation aspect. So is this the right place to ask, or it would be okay to take it up later?
Yeah, I will be coming to that maybe a little later.
Okay. And again, another question related to this, the words in the advanced and the basic, folders. So I see that certain words are repeated in all the folders. So is there any reason like why they are repeated in all the folders?
Yeah, no, actually, they're not meant to be repeated, but this division of vocabulary, this kind of thing is, you can see this only in the Indian version. This is just to make it a little more user friendly, not to overwhelm. See, if you go to advanced, there is too much, and parents and professionals might get a little overwhelmed as to know what to keep and what to not keep. So this is mostly like a guide. The getting started, basic and advanced is mostly like a guide where you get you first basically start from getting started, and then you move on to basic as the child's language is also progressing, and then you move on to advanced level. So that's the idea behind this vocabulary division. So you would be using one at a time, like getting started, just that, and then basic, then advanced. But I personally would recommend parents to start with advanced and mask some of the things that they wouldn't need, just to avoid this kind of a confusion, right? I'm not a fan of the getting started, basic and advanced. So I would like to have as much vocabulary as possible, but little. So no compromise on the number of vocabulary, I mean number of words and number of categories. But within that, you can make it visually less overwhelming by masking some of the words. Like I showed you, you can go to each folder and actually mask things that are not required. So I would rather start with advanced by masking, keeping it simple, and then slowly unmasking rather than moving from getting started and then basic and then advanced.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let me take you through some other features. There is a slight lag between my device and the screen share. Let me share again. So if you go to menu, you have edit words. Edit words is what I just showed you. You can add, you can select all, you can add a single word, you can add many words at once. You can even add a folder. So you want to create a folder for a certain activity. Say you want to create a folder for arts, or maybe your child does horse riding. So so I want to create a folder called horse riding. So whenever you take a child for horse riding or swimming, it could be anything. So I want to create a folder. So now just create a folder, save it. It is saved here. Done. Now the folder is created. Now you have to go into the folder, like select the folder. Again, the same steps, edit words. Now you can add many words related to horse riding. Okay. So you can add words like my turn, your turn. Like, fun, finished. So you can add words related to that activity, create a folder. Done. You'll have that folder. And when you go into that folder, you'll have the words that you will need for that activity. Okay, so now going back to menu. Suppose you're not, I mean, it happens that when you're new to this system, you will not know where the words are. Suppose I want the word, say I'm looking for the word jam, or let's say I'm looking for the word shop. I don't know where the word shop is. So you go to search, there is a search feature and you search over there. And then it will show you, this is like the GPS. So it will show you where the word is. So it is an advanced, go to, and you have the word shop, right? You have the folder shop. Okay. So you can, there is a search feature. If you're not able to find the word, you can search. And there is, let's go to settings. Under settings, you have your details, account details here. And you have the message box. So this is the white thing that you see on the top. This part is called the message box. This is turned on. If you turn it off, it looks like this. In that white bar will go away and the whole screen is converted into just the symbols. But we want to have the message box, so we'll keep it on. Pictures in the message box. So suppose you're using it for an adult, or say you are actually transitioning from pictures to more of text for the child. You can select few pictures and you can keep only the text. Or if it is an adult user, you don't want the pictures, you can turn off the pictures in the message box. Then you'll have only the text. Okay. And then the pictures per screen grid size is something that I explained. So this is 4x6. So this is 4x6, which is 24. 24 is the grid size. Keep it to at least a 24. And what happens if you keep changing the grid size is now the word, say the word stop is on the right hand corner, upper corner, and you're used to that. So whenever I need to use the word stop, I go to that place, right? If you change the grid size, the pictures, it'll move again. So everything will get jumbled up again. And again, you have to reteach yourself or relearn where the words are, and that slows down your communication. Okay. So there is a motor planning programming component also in this, where the child is learning not only the symbol, not only the word, but the child is also remembering where the word is. So very quickly you go, like it happens to us also on our phone. We know where Facebook is, we know where WhatsApp is, like we quickly scroll. So it's either on the top, we know, is it on the bottom or on the side. So that way it is always good to maintain the position of words, and that's why a larger grid size is always better.
Ma'am, I have a question. Am I audible?
Sorry, could you repeat?
Yeah, I have a question. Earlier you mentioned that if the child is not very conversant with stick figures, is there something else that we could use?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
I'll message you, ma'am. I think my audio is not very good.
No. Can you please repeat it? I missed the.
I mean, if you mentioned that if the, I mean, I just wanted to know if there are other options other than the stick figure images that we could use.
Yeah, you can use. No, in Avas you don't have other options. Like in some apps, you can choose widget symbols or PCS or symbol sticks. I think Cough Drop has options like that, but in Avas they have subscribed only to symbol sticks symbols. You can
Okay,
use
ma'am.
photographs instead, or you can actually take a screenshot and download it and then upload it. But the app within the app itself, you don't have it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
So-
Anjana, I just have one more question. Can I?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So is there an option in Avas to add YouTube videos? Because we have children who process language, use a Gestalt language processing. So do we have an option to add YouTube videos in the Avas app?
No, that's not there. I think they are planning to develop. So it's only GIFs. GIFs are
GIFs.
possible.
Okay.
YouTube videos are possible. So within YouTube, you have the option of converting it into shorts or GIFs, right? That option, and you can have like short
Okay.
clips, like one whole video. That's the only thing that's possible. Cough Drop,
Okay.
whereas some of the other apps do have that option. Like TouchChat has it. Cough Drop has an option of adding the YouTube videos.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
One question, ma'am. Do you have a recommendation of, within a bigger screen? And at the moment, I'm not able to give a good example, but for example, the last screen that you showed, which had action words, which had places like here, there, and it had few other words. Is there a recommendation on the ordering?
You mean in terms of device?
No, for example, like what would you recommend keeping on the top, or in somewhere that the child will first see? Like, would you recommend putting the action words first, or
Yeah, I'll come to that. Okay, let me. Seems to be some problem. Mirroring. Okay, let me just take you through some other features that I've listed. So you can add GIFs. The link to how to add GIFs is there in this handout. The picture that you see on the right hand side are called high contrast symbols. Many children also have something called cortical visual impairment or vision issues, and that's when the high contrast symbols are recommended. Avas doesn't have access to high contrast symbols. Again, this will have to be downloaded and uploaded, but this is how it looks. But what Avas has is there are different the themes, background color themes. If you look at, if you go to settings, you will, there is something called color theme options that you can choose. So you can choose a black background, which will serve as a high contrast background, or you can have a white background, or you can have something gray. There are 3 options. So usually whenever I have doubts with vision for a child, I usually keep the background black so that the symbols are better highlighted and it's easier for the child to see and select. So as I showed you, there is that web search, internet, you can pick pictures from the internet, or you can upload it directly from your photo gallery. Or you can also, the other option is you can directly take a picture then and there on the go. So there is that camera option also. So if you click on the camera, you can actually capture a picture from your device and upload it directly while you're in the app, while you're using the app. There is the zoom feature that you saw, which is a good thing in this app. So it visually enhances, especially for beginners, the child or you're modeling or the child selects something, the symbol is highlighted, zoomed, so that serves as a visual enhancement. You can control the speed with which it zooms in and zooms out. You can make it fast, medium, or slow. So all these considerations we learn during the assessment. We learn, based on the child's motor, visual abilities. We set these things. Okay, so Avaz is mostly folder based, like you saw. Some other apps are not folder based. Like for example, if you look at Touch Chat or Proloco to Go or Cough Drop, it's there's a quick snap between one symbol to another. If you click on the symbol, it'll take you to another page. So this is mostly folder based. The vocabulary arrangement, I know many of you will have questions regarding the vocabulary arrangement. I'll come to that. So overall, with Avaz, it takes around anything between 1 to 4 hits to complete your message. Am I audible?
Yes, Anjana.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in terms of vocabulary, there is core vocabulary and also some pre-stored messages. I'll show you that. And there is grammar support, search feature I showed you. Then there is a keyboard. You can toggle between the picture mode and the keyboard mode. Keyboard mode, you can set it as QWERTY keyboard or ABC keyboard. I'll show you the vocabulary part. Under settings, we have speak everything option, speak only words, speak only that's typed on the message window. So initially you can keep it as speak everything so that you, wherever you navigate, like you're navigating from one folder to another, the app will speak that. Speak only words would be the folder name will not be heard. It will just speak up the words that you choose. There is word prediction under keyboard. Hide show buttons we saw. And in terms of accessibility, you can enlarge the text, or you can keep it medium, or you can keep it small. Head tracking or eye gaze, those kinds of things are not available within the app, but it's you can have an external device and an accessibility feature on the device will help you in getting these things done. Okay, so let me try to screen share again. It seems to be taking time. So let me, if I put myself as the speaker. Bindu, can you highlight me so that my part is highlighted? I'll just hold the device and go.
Now, which line?
So I'm sorry, I'm not able to screen share, Bindu. So are you able to see me clearly? You muted.
There is a little bit of glare on the screen, like the light is falling on the screen. Maybe the screen is not visible. Your tablet is not visible.
Okay. Okay, so I'll just go through the other features. So there is an option for grammar. If you have it, you can check it on your own devices. So there is a grammar option. If you turn on grammar settings, it will, so suppose you go to a certain word, say like, if I press, let's go to action words. And let's say give. It will actually show you the other options also, like the past tense, present tense, future tense. So if you go to grammar and turn on the settings, delete, bring. So bring has brought, by. Those other variations, the other morphological forms of the word will also be visible. So you can directly select it from there. And similarly for adjectives, the comparative, superlative will be there, will be highlighted. For nouns, plurals will be highlighted. So that grammar feature can be turned on whenever you feel the child is ready for, whenever you're introducing plurals or adjective, superlative, comparative, and those kinds of things, tenses. And what else under settings? We have color coding. We have, you can also control what is in the latest version. You can control what you want to have on the navigation bar also. You can have, there is under keyboard settings. So on the right, on the left-hand side corner, you have keyboard. It will take you to keyboard. You can toggle between keyboard and picture mode. So keyboard option is there, and under keyboard you can set the keyboard to QWERTY or ABC keyboard. And on the top you see some word prediction happening. So as you type a certain word, if I say B, if I type B, then words starting with B will come up. So that's word prediction feature. If I type the next alphabet, it will further predict words that begin with BA. So BA could bat. And delete word. If the child is learning phonics and the child is spelling based on phonetically. So for example, if juice, for juice, the child is typing JOOS, it will still predict the correct, it will phonetically pick up and try to predict what the child is actually trying to type. So the correct spelling also comes up. So these are some of the features of keyboard. You can also record some messages and store it. Record in the sense type and then store some frequently used phrases. So those options are there. Pictures. And if you go to quick folder has some pre-stored messages which are very useful in certain situations. For example, greetings and manners, I need help, I'm not well, call somebody, I'm in pain, give me medicines. So these are some of the ready-made phrases that you'll find under quick. Okay.
Anjana, I have a question.
Yeah.
So in the keyboard, I mean, in the text mode that you have, demonstrated now, so your keyboard looks little enlarged. The keys looks little enlarged. Whereas in my iPad, those are very small. So is there an option to enlarge the text in the keyboard, or it's just to do with the version? Do I need to do a version update?
Yeah. So if you are on the if you're on iPad, then there is the 6.65 version update that's available. So visibility is much more, it's better, it's improved. I
Oh.
think they get to release the Android version update. It's not yet released.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's just got to do with the version update. That's it. Okay, so now in coming to vocabulary. Pictures. So vocabulary organization is very important. What we have as ready-made vocabulary on the app is good enough, but we then have to look into personalization, right? So how I would suggest is vocabulary can be more categorically organized, like language wise, right? Categories, linguistic categories, and all that. It can be organized that way. But when it comes down to communication, so how do we communicate? So when we meet, let's say the child wakes up in the morning, you greet the child, or child goes to school, greets the teachers, friends. So you need greetings and manners folder to be very accessible, right? So, but what happens here is you need to go to advanced, and then you need to go to quick, and then you get to greetings and manners. So what I would suggest is to put it up, copy and paste it on the home screen, where you have ready-made access to that folder. Similarly, other things like the child might have to describe something, so the describe folder should be accessible, and the people folder, like family members and teachers and classmates, friends names and all that. Then places that the child visits, the activities or schedule of the child, and some quick phrases also must be made accessible, like I want, that may vary from child to child. So for some child, it's like I want a break is something that everybody will need. I want a break, or I want to go to the toilet, or it could be I have pain, or I'm not well. So some of these phrases can be made accessible on the home page itself. Then the feeling words, the action words. So all these can be made accessible as possible on the home screen itself, so that you have quick access to words whenever you need it. You don't have to get caught up in searching where it is, within which folder it is, and so on. So that part you need to do it personalized. A lot of time actually goes into personalizing, even after you purchase, even before you begin implementing it. So that's a key step. Let me try again to screen share. Yeah. Okay. So this is the older version, but I'm using this to just show you how you can actually make it very accessible and easy to use. So on the left-hand side, I have the individual words. As you can see, yes, no, I want, stop, not and don't, more, finished, I want a break, good, like. So all these individual words are on one side. And on the other side, I have the folders. So greetings and manners, like the first thing that I would need is greetings and manners. Then if I have to indicate to somebody how I'm feeling, I'm feeling hungry, I'm feeling thirsty, I want water, I want food, I want a snack. So that is there. And then describe folder will have descriptive words. And then actions folder will have action words. Again, within this folder, I have again personalized it with contrasting words like give, take, go, come, find, hide, throw, catch, so that when I introduce the action words in contrast. So that's how I have it on. That's how I have it represented on AAC also. And then there is a questions folder. So if I have to ask a question or the teacher needs to ask me a question, do I see it? Yeah, I see the question folder. And then the time and calendar, which will have the schedule and days and numbers, dates, and so on. So if you're doing circle time, then we mostly use these things, right? Which month is it? Which day is it? What is today's date? And so on. And then the people. So if I have to answer a question that you have asked me, like who dropped you to school, so you have it there. And then the categories, linguistic categories. This have more of nouns, plants and trees, animals and birds, weather, transport, things, and so on. And then I have the eat folder, play folder, dress, responses and comments. So this has too many words. You can actually mask it. So I want to comment on something. I'm saying, yeah, that's good. That's great. Oh, that's a good idea. Let's do it. Amazing. Awesome. So we can model as well as encourage the child to use it. And then quick also has some emergency words, location words. So I usually recommend this kind of vocabulary organization as the second step after purchasing the app, after downloading it. So make it as easy and accessible for yourself and for the child, for all communication partners, to keep modeling and to keep using it. But if you want to stick to the way it is, I would still recommend you start with the advanced folder, or you can choose the UK version or the US version, which looks different. So it all depends on what appeals to you and to your child. But making it easier and accessible is the common thing that you can follow. Yeah, so you asked about, there was a question about how to place words. So it depends on the functionality. So yes and no questions are very frequently asked, right? We do give choices and say, do you want this or do you want that? You want this, you want to do more of this. So questions, yes and no, will be on the top. I put it on the top because that's most frequently needed. And then want is a frequently used word. You want me to stop or you want more? So that way you just think about what words will be more functional for the child, what will he or she need, and that way you can organize it from top to bottom. Any questions on this?
Ma'am, this is Arpita here again. My question is more general. Apart from the app, like to introduce the app to the child, how much time do we need to spend, or how to rather trigger the need of using the app in the child?
Okay. Yeah, I'll just talk about that also. So let's see if we have covered all the features. I'll come to that. Oh yeah, so there is a mistake button, like I made a mistake on the right hand side, and there is an alert button also. This is to call attention, call caregivers attention. You can set there is you can share a certain folder, or you can create a backup. The latest version has an auto backup feature. You can set the duration. Every 7 days you want a backup, or every 15 days or so on. The latest version has it. So you can, all versions have a backup feature. So you can take a backup. Please do take a backup. Otherwise you will lose whatever you have edited or personalized. So take a backup, store it, and then you can link it to Dropbox or share it with your therapist or share it with others. Or your therapist can edit and share it back with you. So those options are there. Okay. So this is an example of a personalized folder. So this child has, the mother has created this medicine folder. So the mother asked the child, like, what is going on? Is it acidity or is it headache because you didn't sleep well? So do you need a cap, or do you need something like Alka-Seltzer for acidity? So what is it that you need? So the child will then indicate what the child needs. So this is, of course, an advanced level, but you start modeling and showing these things. So personalization mostly done for people, food, activities, games that your child plays, places that you go to, favorite videos, TV, medicines, and so on. Okay. So let me show you some video clips. So modeling or aided language input is very important when you're introducing AVAs or any form of AAC. So first you start using the system yourself. Like, you are the communication partner. The closest communication partners are the parents, then comes the other family members, then comes the teachers, therapists, and others. So it's very important for everybody to start using the system so that the child understands that this is something that we are using for communication, to help ourselves to communicate. So in the video, you can see how modeling is being done. So the child is playing with trucks, cars, and the parent is modeling the words go, or let's make a tower. So as you can see, the whole sentence is not being typed on the AAC system. You just pick, when you're beginning, you just pick few keywords and you model. Setting. What is the setting of this story? Where's the story happening? Let's see. We see some grass, we see the animals, we see water, and we see hills. So they live on they want to eat grass. So this is modeling at the sentence level during the story. Cross a bridge. They have to go on a bridge. They have to go on the bridge. Uh-oh. There is a story. There is a problem. The problem is the graph. The graph wants to eat the goats. This is an example of modeling during story narration. So whichever activity you choose, the interaction remains the same with the child. So you are providing language input, and you're using language. Your languaging is according to the child's level. So you're either speaking very using simplified language, or you're trying to introduce new words. So whatever it is, that remains the same, and that that's how many other approaches also teach you to speak and provide language input. So that remains the same. But the extra thing that you're adding here is you are keeping your AAC system while you're interacting, and you're modeling some words on the AAC system. So you're making it a part of your interaction and communication. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because we want the child to express, we are speaking and using it. and we're showing how to use it. But for the child whose speech is not clear, or who's not able to speak, who's non-speaking or minimally speaking, the child needs another mode to communicate, another way of expressing, right? Another way of showing that, yeah, I understand. I can answer your questions. I can describe this. I can make choices. So for that to happen, you have to start using and showing how to use, in what situations, what words to use, where are they on the AAC system. Now, as you use it, it looks a little complicated in the beginning, but as you start modeling, you will become more and more familiar, and it becomes more and more easier. And many kids learn this very quickly, the navigation and other things very quickly, in fact, quicker than the parents sometimes. Let me forward it. Hi. I want to eat you. Goat says is coming. Now let me forward it a little bit. Hi, so are we ready? So here in this part of the video, the teacher is modeling using a low-tech AAC system. So she's working on words ending with AT. Story. Two categories, activities, and stories. So I can read the story. So she's saying where she's navigating. I'm going to categories, activities, and story. So that's how you need to actually speak out where you're navigating, where you're going, which folder you're going to. So those things also need to be spoken aloud. What's up? Love to see on that. Guys, look at that. The guy in that. It's not like that. That's a little bit tricky. Batch, I need batch. Look. And it's for him. Okay. Look at the pictures. My sweet will sleep. Please. Nice. Root. No, but get more to say. Let's pretend. Wait a minute. Oh. Right. I'm thinking a bear. We go. Goodbye. That's my turn. Crickets creak. My squeak. Oh, you want to show me something? Okay. Show me. Oh, I'm looking out. Oh, not in your bag. I'm listening. So as you can see in the video, the teacher is they are doing a shared reading activity where they're sharing a book, sitting together and going through a book, going through pictures, reading the book. And the teacher is also using a low-tech system, a book that has vocabulary, and she's modeling some vocabulary. The child also seems to be familiar with the AAC system. The child is also interacting using the book.
Anjana, there is a question about inserting video examples in Avas in the chat. It asks, can we insert video modeling in Avas?
Oh,
And
yeah.
Divya,
Video, no,
Divya asked it.
there's no way you can upload a video, but you can record, like I showed in the video. You can record reading a book yourself, and you can record modeling some things. Or when your child is playing or doing an activity, you can model some of the words by commenting on the child's play, and commenting on what actions your child is doing, and have somebody record it, and then you can use that as a resource for, like, some children like to view their own videos or view their parents talking, so you can have those videos and do it. But video modeling, you will have to do it separately. You can't add it on our. Now this parent has used some printouts and pasted it on at different places in the house, like when we were introducing the words hungry, thirsty, and other words related to meal time. The parent took printout of those words, and she's pasted it under the dining table, and also in the bathroom, and something at the door to put on shoes and things like that. So that this is called environmental engineering. So you have to engineer your environment to suit, to make it more and more accessible. So communication has to happen everywhere, and for that to happen, you have to have access to AAC everywhere, and you can't be carrying the device everywhere, right? Sometimes the device is not available. It could be on charge, or it could, it might not be feasible for you to use. So there, and in those situations, you can have a low-tech version of the same thing. So the same thing that you have on the device, you can take a screenshot, or there is an option to print it. You can take a printout and use it. Suppose the child goes for swimming, you can send a board, communication board printout for swimming with the vocabulary around swimming, so that the child can communicate. So you need to keep pushing and taking one step at a time, and enlarging the child's, expanding the child's communication circle with more and more people.
So Anjana, I just have a general question. Can I?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So in the previous, slide, you showed that the low tech board on the wall. Is it a print that they are having it on the wall?
Yeah, printout, laminated printout, pasted on the wall.
Okay. Okay, because we've been trying to get the larger size prints, but not sure how to go about it further, because the maximum that we get is A3.
A3, yeah. It is A3 only. I think Printo may have larger, be able to provide larger printouts.
Okay.
Printo
Okay, fine. Thank
chain shops.
Okay.
But yeah, I think A3 should be good enough. Okay. Okay, so to just now coming to the getting started and implementation part, I'll not be able to get into the details of everything, but I'll just try to give you a roadmap of how you can go about. So if you think your child is an emergent communicator who's just beginning to understand that my behavior can be used to communicate. So the child starts using behaviors to communicate, like pointing or dragging you, taking your hand, or even crying and throwing tantrums and things like that. Throwing tantrums is not the right word, but using behaviors to communicate. The child begins to understand that these will have an effect on the people around me, and the child continues to use those behaviors as a mode of communication. So that is when we need to intervene and try to make it more symbolic. Okay. So the overall goal there with emergent communicators would be to develop more symbolic communication. So what are the possibilities? Now, if you look at some of these behaviors, like reaching out, beckoning you to come, and smiling, and so on. All these behaviors, we need to start giving words, model words for these behaviors. So you can say, oh, I see you looking at the door. Are you waiting for somebody? So and then model, I'm looking for somebody, or go to the people folder and say, are you waiting for your mom? Are you waiting for your dad? So have a conversation around it. If you see the child cupping ears, is it too loud? So you model the word loud. Take the device and model then and there in the situation, within the situation. If the child is smiling, oh, I can see you smiling, you like it, you are happy, do you want to do more of this? You want me to stop? So you introduce the words in the situation. Incidentally introduce the words, incidental teaching. So that's how you begin modeling words for your child. So one very easy template to start with is to, let me use the whiteboard here. So just think about what routines you're going to choose, or what activity for the child you're going to use. So pick one or two routines, like it could be mealtime routine, or as soon as the child gets up, if you have time that part of the day, or evening time, or bedtime, or bath time. So choose one or two routines and choose one or two activities to begin with, activities that your child loves to do. So choose that, and then choose what you're going to model. So the vocabulary that you're going to model. So for every activity, there would be vocabulary. That for mealtime routine, it would be something like something around food, right? So you want the food is hot or cold, spicy, and you can say want, more, finished. So these are some of the common words that you can keep using everywhere, right? And something related to activities, again, choose something like I showed you. We created a folder, horse riding folder, and we thought of words that could be modeled during that activity. So what the vocabulary what you're going to choose, what activity, what time of the day, what routine you're going to choose, and what vocabulary you can model, and also what communicative functions you're modeling. So most of the time we get stuck up with just requesting, or asking questions and making the child answer questions, right? So you think about various other communicative functions, like commenting, describing, introducing adjectives to describe something, or even commenting like, oh, good, this is fun, I like it, I don't like it, that's amazing, wow, and words like that. Or you can also model how to express preferences, like I want this, I don't want this. If the child is using a certain behavior to, like, pushing away, or biting, or something like that, that is when you can introduce these words. Like don't want, you can say don't want, that's fine, I see you biting, I think you don't want it. So model those words at that time. So think about like various other communication functions also. Why do we communicate? The reasons we communicate, like we sometimes want to protest, we sometimes want to express our dislike, we want to share something. So all these communicative functions, different things you can target, and then also distribute it amongst yourselves. Like, sorry, who will be doing, like who will be taking up this routine, who will be taking up this activity within your family members, like mom, what mom does, what dad does, and what grandparents, if they're around, what can they do, how can they contribute. And then we also try to get to the school, the places that the child goes to, the center, the therapists, teachers there, and how they can contribute. So if everybody is on the same page, especially when the child is using an AAC system, it's going to work out well. Otherwise, it will be very limited. As much as modeling is happening, that much of interest and motivation the child builds up. Okay. So make a list of your child's favorites and add it to the AAC system. So some of the words are, we call it personal core. So the child's favorite programs and things like that, places, food items, and all that. Okay. So if your child is has already acquired a basic stuff, and then if you're feeling stuck again, think about like what next you can do. So how do we create more of spontaneous language and more of novel language? So think about, again, modeling is very important, and keep modeling what the child can talk more, like what more can the child be talking about, what more can the child be expressing, where else can I intervene. So this is an example of a student who is at an advanced level, like transitioning to more advanced level. So we use certain movie clips, and then we talk about how this character is feeling in the movie and things like that. So here. Yes. So here, one person is very scared. So we model that on the AAC system.
He is feeling yes.
Also presenting information in a very simplified form. You can also use what is going on in the news, what is going on around. You can pick few things. For example, there was this Chandrayaan launch. So talk about it in a very simplistic way, and try to relate it to the child's vocabulary. How people are very happy, they're smiling, and we can be proud of it, and so on. So you can choose different themes and resources for expanding vocabulary, and also trying to work on the child's cognition, thinking skills, right? More you encourage the child to think, more communication will come out. So if thinking is limited, like if you're not stimulating their thought processes and showing them actually how you're thinking also. So this is making me feel. You can do a lot of self-talk about how you're feeling through the day. Were you busy? You had a busy day. How you're feeling, and so on. So those are the observations that your child will make, and try to relate it to, try to apply it. And then also try to relate everything to their own experiences and situations. So expand the child's participation wherever possible at home. Suppose you have a leaky tap at home. So talk about that also. Say what you did, who you called, and like how you called. You can show everything, like I booked a plumber on Urban Company, and then he came, he got some tools and he fixed it. Okay, now I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling I was very upset, and all that. So you can actually make use of a lot of real life situations to help the child think, and to show how you're thinking as well. Right? Okay. And the last part, last but not the least, or do not keep literacy till the end. So start introducing literacy, introducing the alphabet names and phonics, and the other aspects of literacy, like rhyming words, what starts with what, and all that. So we can probably have another session to discuss the implementation part, but I just wanted to give you a roadmap of what your plan can look like. Yeah. So any questions? So modeling really happens, to sum it up, there is what words to choose from, you can always look at words like simple words like functional words that are functional for the child, like stop, finish, want, and a few other words, action words or adjective words you can pick. You can pick target words and try to model them in different situations. So that is one possibility. But also try to look at what your child's routine is through the day and think about different communication functions that you can be modeling across the day. So it's more of an addition than sitting down and doing something. So AAC is not like you set some, of course you can set some time apart and then you can sit and do, but it's not like an additional thing. You can embed it through your routines and things that you're already doing. Any questions?
Okay, ma'am,
There are a
Arpita
couple of
again.
questions in the in the chat. Maybe you can take it after Arpita's.
Yeah. So my question is to introduce, like for my boy, I haven't yet introduced the Avaz app, which I'm planning to. So to do that, to trigger his need of interest towards it, what kind of time per day I do have to, invest on just for an introduction, rather than like if I go on this, what do I say, uh, situation basis for the whole day, he might get overwhelmed all of a sudden. So just to initiate, how much time do I have to spend and how do I have to spend on what uh, mm, prospects do I have to use the app?
See, your child will get overwhelmed only if you are asking the child to use Avaz, or if you're expecting the child to use Avaz. You're not here, you're not expecting the child to do anything at all. You're not expecting the child to point to this word or that word, nothing at all. So it's you who is just using it. You're beginning to use it, and that depends on you and the situation that you're in. So the more at ease you are through your routine, through your daily routine, you can use it as much as possible. Like maximum throughout the day is what is recommended. Okay, throughout the day, throughout the routines is what is recommended. Of course, you can take a break from it, but as much as possible. Because if you look at typically developing babies, we tend to talk to them a lot, right? And we don't expect them to talk back, but we're still talking to them. So it's the same concept that you need to apply here. We need to keep providing that input in the way that you're expecting your child to ultimately look at the end goal. Like your child should be ultimately able to independently tell you what they need, how they feel, express their thoughts and all that. So that is the end goal. Keeping that end goal in mind, you start modeling all of that in bits and pieces, in small steps. So overwhelming happens only if you are expecting the child to start using it. That is going to be a mistake. So you just start modeling. And after you have consistently modeled for about, say, 15, 20 times one particular target, then you can actually start expecting the child to tell you, use the system, use those words that you've already modeled to tell you, but not before that, not any time before that. Does that answer your question?
Ma'am, this is Kalyani. My son is able to make all type of sounds and all small words. Will Avaz help him to make him new words and where to use, how to use all those things?
Okay.
Make him bigger. So we currently his problem is unable to understand or say bigger words. So my question is, will Avaz help him to make bigger words, or instead of stopping him making bigger words, will Avaz help him to make bigger words?
You mean verbally say it?
Yes, he's able to say small words like I want TV, I want water, like that.
Yeah, if you look at expanding verbal expression, Avas can serve as a visual aid. So the more Avas will serve as a visual enhancement, and also the child will be able to hear the word, see it. So that will augment his learning. But for him to be able to say more, expand more verbally, then the other approaches, like traditionally whatever is followed in speech therapy, can be done.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
This Pavani's question, vocabulary modeling. Child need to search for words, or do we need to create mealtime folder? No, the most of the Pavani, most of the words are already there. So you need to figure out where they are on the system before you start modeling, actually. Or even during modeling, if you're not able to figure out, go to search option and find out where it is and do it. So you don't have to create folders for everything. Maybe if like say, like for example, horse riding was not there. So if that is an activity that your child is doing, or maybe you want to create a folder for yoga or something unique that your child is doing, then you can create folders. Otherwise, most of the other words are there. You just need to figure out where they're there. So child need not search. You have to search and show the child where to navigate, like how to navigate. So I go to eat folder, and all the words that are related to eating and food are there. So you can say, okay, let's talk about what you're eating. Let me go to eat folder, and let me go to describe. This is spicy, this is hot. So that's how you can talk to it. Okay. Next is, can we insert video?
Jyoti actually had a question, Anjana. She actually sent it directly to me. It's about modeling when the child is not able to, even with just 4 pictures in a screen, if the child is not able to, choose the right one, she or he is always picking the first picture for any question, anything you ask. So how to model that? How to help the child basically pick the right picture and not just the one picture on the top.
Okay. This could be in the performance field of the visual performance field of the child might be that, upper left hand side or right hand side. So maybe the child has a tendency to go there only. So if that is the case, you can actually, placement is one thing that you can re-look at. How you're placing the AAC system. Is it the distance, and are you keeping it like flat on the table, or are you keeping it inclined? So these are some of the things that you can take a look at. So what will help? You can try different options and make a note of which one helped better. And if you feel like the child is performing more on like one particular side of the page, then you can actually move the words to that particular side. There's no harm in doing that. You can also create a little bit of distance, like you can I showed you the action folder, right? There were 2 columns and then there was a gap, again 2 columns, there was a gap. So that way you can organize it, create gaps, or create no gaps between the words, so that you can take a look at those things and see what works. And also try high contrast. And you can also, to begin with, when you're beginning, we also do things like we use a laser light or a small torch just to highlight, make it more creative and interesting for the child. Oh, I'm looking for this word. Where is it? Okay, but it's on this side. Oh, okay. So you point, or use a pointer and things like that. So just try different creative ways of doing it and see. But I also would recommend a visual assessment, vision assessment, and an OT might be able to suggest more of oculomotor exercises and vision exercises and eye-hand coordination. So all those things skills are also developing at the same time, and those skills also need to be worked upon. And those are especially important for AAC. Any other? I don't see any other question.
I think there was one more from Sarah. Do you want to ask, Sarah?
Hi. So, if we're doing specific books like the Three Billy Goats one that you showed in the example, now do we create a separate folder for that with all the vocabulary that you would need over there, or would you more organically do it from the main menu itself?
Yeah, I was doing it from the main menu, but I had only created a template, a story template that has characters. I mean, I had put these words like characters, problem, solution, setting, and all that, so that when I ask the child to narrate, the child can use that template to get started with. But otherwise, yeah, the recommendation would be to use the main, whatever is there, not create.
Okay, thank you.
But if it is for an event, like say sometimes children have had something that they had to share in the class as a group activity. So if the child is not yet familiar and not yet achieved that fluency with navigation, only for that situation we have created the folders, and the child will just press and those phrases are spoken, just to motivate the child for participating, for encouraging to participate and be a part of the group, especially for the non-speaking children. So that has been done, but mostly use whatever is there on your core word homepage and other folders.
Yeah, I think we don't have any more questions on the chat.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Anjana. Thank you so much for taking time.
Thank you. Okay, so shall we end? If there are any more questions, you can drop it in the group or send it across.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining in today.
Thank you. Bye.